up to the sunrise, let the day begin. Johnny and Mark are here, let the laughter in. With every sip of coffee, feel the warmth inside. Conversations and humor take you for a ride. Your morning boost with Johnny and Mark, a perfect blend of laughter, igniting the spark, inspiration and insight. Join the journey, let them light your way. It's a brew of connection, a world to explore, a network of voices opening the door. With Johnny and Mark, feel the power of two, a morning tradition just waiting for you. As the day unfolds, carry what you've heard, inspire and inform with every single word. Johnny and Mark beside you as you start a new day, the morning show that lifts you through and through. A network of voices opening the door. With Johnny and Mark, feel the power of two, a morning tradition just waiting for you.
First in the mornings, originally from the Bayou State of Louisiana. Here at Cajun Roots Reselling, you make me an offer and I'll take it. You got the dollars, go see Johnny, he's got it all. Let him have it with no problem, see the special man.
See the special man.
You got the dollars, make me an offer. New England Cajun Roots, Johnny understands.
Johnny understands.
Let him have it with no problem, see the special man. Let him have it with no problem, see the special man.
Hello, good morning, and welcome here. It is currently now 33 degrees. It's been 20s all morning long.
I'm
How
jealous.
are you doing this morning? What day is it? It's Taco Tuesday. It's not hump day, girl. Where you been? Wake up. And how are you doing in your neck of the woods over there? I see you at work again.
Yeah, back to the indentured servitude. That is my day job, and it's way too warm for my happiness. I guess now we really do have to say goodbye to spring and pump up the air conditioning.
Yes, indeed. First in the chat was Regina. Good morning, hello, and welcome. And today's thought and quote: having
Good morning, Miss Regina.
positive attitude is wishy-washy. It is concrete and intelligent way to view problems, challenges, and obstacles. I like that. Little Debbie, hello, good morning, and welcome. And how are you doing? Good to
Little
see you.
Debbie.
There's our Taco Tuesday. Angela, hello, good morning, and welcome. And how are you doing? Good to
Good
see
morning,
you.
Angela.
And welcome. Happy birthday, John. Today is his birthday, along with Cheryl Stevens' birthday
Woot
today.
woot! Happy birthday to you. Happy
Jack,
birthday.
hello, good morning, and welcome. And how are you doing? Good to see you, and welcome. Jennifer, hello, good morning, and welcome. And please hit the thumbs up. That would be greatly appreciated.
Hello, Lady Jennifer.
It does help. Every little bit helps. Let's see. Who else do we have? Jennifer. Carol, hello, good morning, and welcome. And how are you doing? Good to see you. Welcome.
Huge hugs, Carol. Right back at you.
Tackle J. We'll be on Groves later this morning. Awesome. Yeah, I saw Dawn and Teresa are having their members live today. Chrissy and Stacy, hello, good morning, and welcome. And how are y'all both
Hello,
doing
ladies.
this morning? Good to see y'all. Marianne, hello, good morning, and welcome. And how are you doing? I will be on with Dawn and Teresa this morning. Awesome.
Hello, Miss Marion.
Good to hear that. I love having Miss Marion on. Let's see.
Everybody's favorite grandmother, Miss Marion.
Amy, hello, good morning, and welcome. And how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. How you been?
Okay,
Um,
that's a great handle. Hot Mess Thrifter. I like that. That's
And
awesome.
Amy, hello, good morning, and welcome. And how are you
Good
doing? Good
morning,
to
Miss
see
Amy.
you. Welcome. Oh my gosh, had the most amazing meetup. Karen, yesterday we found an antique mall. Awesome! Going out of business. 75. Ooh, that's even the best way to go.
Oh, that's Clarence.
That's
That's
right.
Clarence.
Clarence
That's
on the was
Clarence right
Clarence
there.
there? Did you meet Clarence? That is awesome. I love hearing that. Ellen's live today at 2:11. That's every Tuesday. Yes.
Angela, did you have any room left in your car after you got done? Were you like trying really hard to see over the steering wheel with being packed in for everything?
Let's see. Regina says, I will be selling some book items in the Misty Medium Book Fair fundraiser on Dawn and Teresa's members auction this afternoon.
I appreciate that. I've got some updated links to share with everybody once we get a little caught up here this morning.
Oh, you make chlorine?
Clarwin.
Thanks. I've been, yeah, you have. As long as I've known you. Yep. Did they have jewelry? That's a good question. It was hard, Jay. Laughing out loud.
I can just picture you with like
Paparazzi.
I can just picture Angela with like boxes and boxes strapped to the roof of her car.
I understand that, Amy. You got a lot to go through. I understand that. That's a lot of work. Mostly paparazzi. Interesting though, at an antique place. Well, I guess because yeah, you'll find a lot of that there.
Sorry, what's paparazzi?
It's a brand of jewelry.
Ah,
It's a company that it's a brand name, but it's not something that I would pick up, depending on what it is.
gotcha. A little
I
bit lower
have had some
quality.
in the past because I bought some jewelry lots that had it in there. But if I was to just buy it outright, no, I wouldn't.
Is it like borderline costume jewelry or
It is costume jewelry.
it is costume?
Yeah. Carol says, I'm going home tomorrow. Tomorrow. So when you got to go back to that place for your dog, I know you do the dog sitting on a regular basis at that place with the Dotsons. So Jake and I would talk. Jay and I were talking right before the show.
Who?
Jay,
Who are you talking
I
with?
happened to look at the chat and I made a comment about
I'm
that.
so glad after all these shows together, Johnny, you're getting my name right.
Yeah,
Geez.
right. Jay and I were talking before the show in reference to we had our topic yesterday in reference to talking more in reference to the fundraiser he's doing in May. So Jay, go ahead and tell everybody what you've set up and drop those links.
Yeah, so for those of you
Oh,
that are selling stuff right now because you can't be a part of it on the 16th, or you're going to sell stuff at any time leading up to the 16th, I've actually already created a donation page on the First Read website, sorry, the First Book website. And this way, folks can go in and make the monetary donation whenever they're ready to. And that link is coming up right now. This is a special link just for our book fair. So you'll land there and you'll be able to see exactly what you need to do to go ahead and do a donation. Um, we've set a $5,000 goal for this one. I'm hoping that's lower than what I was thinking, and I'm hoping we blow that out of the water. That would be really awesome if we do. Um, Please do by if you're going to be donating outside of May 16th, please do be sure to add your name to your donation so that I can keep track of who did, so that we can get that recognition flowing as well for everybody that participated. But that page is live. If you don't have something to sell and you want to make a monetary donation, you can certainly stop by and do that at any time, so that we can reach our goal by May 16th.
now also go into detail in reference to if they can't do it, but they have books they want to donate.
Yeah, so First Book also has a really great program where, let's say you tried selling some new books and you just weren't able to unload them at auction. They are actually a tax deductible donation for First Book, and I just dropped the link in for where you can donate your inventory. So you can just click on that link at any time. go in, and they'll take really books of any kind of book, whether it's textbook, picture book, chapter book, hen house, outhouse, doghouse. If you've got a book, they'll take it. And I think the only thing they ask is that you please cover the postage to ship it to them. But again, it's a tax deductible donation for anything you send into them. They
Hello,
also
Casey.
they also do take other donations, so things like uh, uh, they take in health and beauty stuff, because they also donate. What a lot of people don't know is they also help the communities with that sort of thing. So kids don't have toothbrushes, toothpaste, deodorant, stuff like that. They also help make those donations to the communities as well. And we're working with the U.S. chapter, but there's also a Canadian chapter. So they do operate in both countries, but anything that's happening with us will all be happening to support the location here, to support the division that's here in the U.S.
Good morning, Casey. How are you doing? Good to see you. I was able to catch up on your videos. And Paul, hello, good morning, and welcome. And how have you been? Good to see you. Welcome. As y'all see, Jennifer's already dropping links to those channels. Make sure you check them out. Also, public service announcement. Don't forget, today is Cheryl Stevens' birthday, and also John the Reseller. He's in the chat. Also, if you would like to be a guest on the following, let me know by emailing me and letting me know. July the 25th, Reseller Community Shop Pop Train Sale, which is always the last Saturday of each month. I do have 4 spots left for that show. If you would like to be on it, let me know by emailing me. And if you are a member of the show and you would like to be on the rapid fire round, the following time slots I have left is 1:45, 3:15, or 3:45. That is all I have left for October the 6th. Rapid fire round, which is always the first Tuesday of each month. Of course, Hump Day auction is booked all the way to the end of the year. That will not be back open again until December 1st for 2027. This Friday, don't forget, I will be on. It's every last Friday of each month, but they hold the show every week on Buffalo Picker, Defend the Hustle. That's every Friday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but I will be there this Friday on the Defend the Hustle with Buffalo Picker. Come and check us out. He's there every Friday, but I try to make the show. A lot of times I don't, but I am there every last Friday of the month. Jennifer, I hear that, boo.
Patrick.
She has a lot of toothbrushes that I can donate. Awesome. You are. That's true. T's Dad, hello, good morning, and welcome. And how are you doing? Good to see you. And welcome. And Patrick, hello, good morning, and welcome. And how are you doing? Good to see you.
And a new Domino's promo. Yay!
I saw that. 50% off pies this week. Online only. Local restaurant restrictions apply. Yeah. We've seen a new commercial lately for Domino's with the new black box with the black and gold free dip. I'm not sure what that's about, but yeah. Sorry I haven't sent by it now. Leonard got invited to sell on a swap meet. Hey, that's good. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
You know what? Don't never apologize for being out there getting your gear on, man. That's never apologize for making a buck.
That is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It says I have enough to own my own business. Don't we all? Let's see here. There's the link for Buffalo Picker, and it's me, Angie. Hello, good morning, and welcome. And how are you?
Good morning, it's me, Angie.
Yeah. So as we're all talking in reference to reselling and other platforms, don't forget this Friday is the Would You Buy It or Would You Leave It, which we do every Friday. And if you would like to enter any of those items that you've sold in the last 90 days, go ahead and email me at CajunRootsReseller@gmail.com. And in the email, please include where did you buy it, how much you paid for it, and also if you took an offer, what was that offer for, and if you remember how long it took to sell. And just send me those links from those items from the platform it's sold on. And if you're not sure how to do that, please make sure to send me a screenshot from that platform, and I 9 times out of 10 can find it. And Mona, hello, good morning, and welcome. And how are you doing? Good to see you. Welcome. So without further ado, let's get into our topic of the day, which we have one that I was very interested in starting with today. And without further ado, here we go. Are you a reseller that sells on platforms, or you haven't thought about doing platforms yet, but you're doing maybe just YouTube, or you maybe just doing eBay, or you maybe just doing Etsy of one of the platforms? But it's never too late to start a new platform to be listing on other than YouTube and or eBay.
Preach.
What is your thoughts on that? I know you're not a reseller, but you do your
No, no. Hey, I have a big weigh in on this one because, from the publishing standpoint, it is no different than what you folks do with your reselling. I have been this giant advocate for years. All these people that want to put all their eggs in one basket and just be on eBay, I mean, just be on Amazon to sell their books and not make their books available anywhere else. You know, the I look at it as my job is to make sure that I'm everywhere my readers are, and that it's not my job to tell my readers how they can buy my content or where they can buy my content. It's my job to make sure they have the best availability for where they're shopping. You may have people that absolutely hate eBay for some reason. You may have somebody that doesn't trust Vinted because it's a brand new platform, or like me, they find whatnot shows absolutely obnoxious and don't want to sit through them. So it's important to play up to as many common denominator as you can, as many different channels, because you want to be where everybody's buying, not not limiting your people, not limiting your buyers on where they can get your merchandise.
That's true because even with reselling on, say, just a particular platform, because some of us do sell on eBay, some only sell on Etsy. There's all kind of platforms out there, and of course, we do know that Vinted is fairly new, and some of us have probably saw the new commercials that's been really being promoting the platform. But always, and I've always said this from day one, always start with one platform and get used to that platform and how they work, how they you do their all their background stuff. For me, when I first started, I did start on eBay, which if I would have known back then that there was Poshmark, I most likely 100% would have started with Poshmark. Only because Poshmark to me, other than Vinted, is the easiest platform to list on and takes the less time. However, I did choose eBay because that's all I knew at the time. Then I got to learn, and I started like within 6 months. Let's see, July, August, September, October. 3 months later, I then added Etsy, and then I added Macari. And again, it's every so many months I then added another platform. But what I do is I love Bonanza. A lot of people forget about Bonanza. What I like about Bonanza is now they're starting to integrate that you can also cross post from other platforms by bringing those items you have. But what I like about Bonanza as well is once it's sold, it delists it for whatever platforms you originally had it come from.
Wow, that's pretty
Automatic.
cool because
It,
most of that cross listing software doesn't do that. You
no.
have to manually go in and remove that.
Now, also, I do use Flip, which does that. But sometimes it doesn't get it all. Like, for example, if you have multiples, sometimes it'll pull it, but it won't leave the listing up if there's multiples. And again, they're starting to get better at that. But like, for example, with Vinted, you cannot cross post. You cannot have multiples. So it's got to be a one of with Vinted, which I'm fine with that. But you have to learn the platforms before you keep going in. But again, like what Jay was saying, don't put your eggs all in one basket. I know we do YouTube, we have whatnot, we have Poshmark Lives, we have eBay Lives. There's so many other platforms you can go on. But my opinion is do one platform first that you can get used to and get known on that platform, and then go on to another one. Add another one as you go. But if you're cross posting, you want to make sure. And one of the things I do when I do cross post, even though I know Flip will take it off automatically, I know Bonanza will take it off automatically, but I still check to make sure they're not still there because lately I've been noticing on Poshmark some of the things that I know got sold is still listed there. So I know automatically I go back and make sure it's no longer available, and then I turn around and delete it. Or I'll go physically look for where it would be, and if I still have it in hand, then I'm okay with it. But 9 times out of 10, I'm pretty good at remembering what's sold. But when you have over 2,000 items listed, you do want to double check those things because you don't want to get a sale and you don't have that item to. And I don't do drop shipping. I don't understand that, and I don't do it. So if I don't have it, I'm gonna delist it unless they do it for me.
One of the other really important reasons why you should cross list is that, technology is not perfect. And
No.
if all of a sudden eBay has an outage, and all of your stuff is on eBay, you are dead in the water. You're not selling anything until eBay figures out what their problem is and gets back up and running, or their credit card system goes down and they're not able to process anything through PayPal. I mean, this stuff absolutely happens. We had an issue where Amazon had an issue with one of the books that we uploaded, and they took it to the extreme and shut down my entire account for 4 days while they investigated, which took 30 some odd books from multiple authors off sale while they did that. If I hadn't also had my books listed through Ingram and available through all the other retailers, I would have been dead in the water making no money for 4 days. So, don't count on technology being up and always being your friend.
Also, again, still double check your things. I do have a question coming up that I saw. Um, Angie, I love you too. Long time. Don't forget to drop that link to that video y'all talking about. I want to see if I saw it already because I did watch a couple of your videos lately. But I want to make sure I did see it because I love
I love you
reading those
too, Miss
comments.
Carol. You know that.
Also
I can't wait
depends
to
on
meet
what
you in
you are
person and give you a
looking to
giant
get
hug.
out of it. If you're doing for money, then yes, multiple platforms. But if you're a hobby, stick to with what works for you. Exactly. But it's not made for everybody. But I do hear a lot of people saying they want to get into another platform other than right now they're only doing YouTube. So I do hear of of a few more people that are starting other platforms. So yeah, and that is so true, Patrick. Jay, Johnny, handsome man. Oh, I love you too.
Aw, big love right back at you, TZ. Always.
Let's see. Everybody saying hello to each other. All right, here we go. Question: isn't it a lot to handle multiple sale platforms, or if there's separate special apps for that? Well, each platform, for example, if you set your notifications, for example, Poshmark Invented, they send you an email with the label and a packing slip. That's something you don't have to worry about. You get it in your email, you just print it out, pack it, and send it out. Now, with things like eBay, Etsy, and Macari, you will get an email. I get an email saying you got a sale. So for me, it's not hard because I've been doing it for a while now. That I know, say for example, if I get a sale on Etsy, it automatically comes into my email saying you have a sale on Etsy or you have a sale on Bonanza. All those come to my email where I already know I'm not going to miss anything because then I don't have to sit there on each platform. So you would have to set up your notifications to get those emails when you get a sale. Then when it comes to, like, for example, Bonanza, it automatically takes it off of whatever platform you had it on. I use Flip, so I double check because if I use Flip to post it on other platforms to cross post, it automatically will take it off of those other platforms. But I still check it on a daily basis. That's just my routine. But then when you have Poshmark Invented, you ain't got to worry about it really because once it's sold, it comes off your platform, it shows sold, and then you get that email and then you're done. So no, I don't think it is a hard thing to keep up with, especially when you get those notifications on sales that you get on other platforms. Just make sure you do set it up that you get those notifications because that is the easiest way to keep up with it. That is so true, Jay. Yep, that is so true. Glenn, hello, good morning and welcome. And how are you doing in
Good
Lenore?
morning, Swampy.
Hello, good morning and welcome. Now,
Good morning, Leonor.
a while back, I was selling on Amazon, but I did that for 2.5 years. But the reason I got away from it, I was fulfilling the orders. I did never sent it into Amazon. But one of the things I did not like about the Amazon platform is that they were dictating what price you would put your items at because they wanted to be the better of the prices. So
Right.
you have to lower your prices to be able to sell anything. And I'm not going down any lower than what I've already paid it for it. So I stopped. So that's why I got out of Amazon. Now, to sell, I probably would never go back to Amazon to sell because it was just too much. Constantly having to drop your prices, and then by the time you drop your prices down to what you paid for it, it's not worth it.
Good morning, Miss Ashley.
Ashley, hello, good morning, and welcome. And how are you doing? We need to arrange a meetup. Yes, we do. Cheryl, hello, good morning, and welcome. And how are you doing?
Hey,
Good
good
to
morning,
see you.
Cheryl.
Welcome. Let's see. If you have any questions about that, please ask. Let's see. Exactly what I tell others. Know how things manually in cash text shut down. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because a lot of people still do things the old-fashioned way, but when it comes to these platforms, you got to kind of know technology a little bit, and it's just something we got. Does Vinted take out sale taxes like eBay? Yes, they do, but you do not pay the price you listed for is what you get paid. Everything else is handled by Vinted. Yes, you will get your 1099 at the end of the year. They handle all the taxes, the shipping. You don't pay none of that. You just if you list it for say $25, once it sells, you get $25. And yes, they handle all the taxes on that on their end like eBay. And I do have a referral link if anybody would like to try it. I have been trying to list
ABC.
every day.
Matt, you're like
But
one,
I've
two,
been
three.
busy lately, so I haven't done it this week. I haven't listed anything this week.
Good morning, good sir Matt. Always good to see you, my friend.
All right, here's the link if you haven't tried it yet and you would like to try out. And remember, anything you list on there, what you listed for is what you get. And from what I understand, it is basically like Poshmark. Um, when you get it, you get the letter, you get the email. And how are you doing today, Matt? I think I got an email from you with for Friday, I believe it was you. I know somebody sent me an email this week. Yep, I got it. Thank you, Matt. So the bottom line is don't be afraid to go on other platforms, especially if you're only used to one particular platform. But out of curiosity, in the chat, do you only sell on one platform and what that platform is? Or if you sell on multiples, which one you like the best? Again, I do sell, I got my Macari, Etsy, Poshmark, Vinted, eBay, and Bonanza. I choose not to support Lex Luthor.
Casey, I actually I just got back from a big conference in LA, so I haven't been back into my email yet. I'm hoping to get into my email tonight, but I'll be getting back in touch with everybody here over the next few days.
And Amy, that's a good point. When I first started on Flip years ago, it was free. But just like anything else, usually it's like in a beta form. And then now they only charge $9 a month. And you have multiple platforms you can cross post on. For example, let's see here, Flip. You can actually let me cross post and see what it says.
Actually, I have never heard of Flip until you mentioned it this morning.
All right, you can actually set up to import from Poshmark, eBay, Macari, Depop, Etsy, and Facebook as of right now. Those are the platforms that you can cross-post with by pulling your items. And one of the things I want to mention, if you're listing, say, on eBay, and you cross-post to Etsy, do not import from Etsy because now you're going to have duplicate listings.
Right.
You don't want that. And it'll catch it for you, but it don't pay to do it if you're already cross-posting from eBay to Etsy or Etsy to eBay. One of the things I always like to recommend is always, if you're on eBay, import from eBay first because all the other platforms are less information than you need on eBay. So I'd rather take the time and do it on eBay first and then import it, then I can take less information that it needs, like Poshmark and Etsy. Very different. But Etsy, you just need when it was made, if it was made by somebody else, the year, and if it's a finished product or if it's something to make something. Once you do that, the rest is filled in for you. So that's why I do it in that order. But I do not do Depop, and I haven't started selling on Facebook, but I do have an account with it. I just never listed anything yet. But yeah, it's only $9 a month, and I love it, and it's been improving every time ever since I started. And I do have a referral for that if anybody's ever tried Flipped or you want to try it. Yes, it's very easy to use. Well, I get that one.
I mean, I'm guessing that most folks start with eBay just because it's the most familiar thing that kind of everybody knows and everybody's experienced probably as a buyer first before they ever started selling. I know I've been selling on eBay since its inception, so I mean it's like but I think eBay's in some ways is very much like Amazon in that it's like it's the beast you don't want to deal with, but it's sort of the beast you kind of have to deal with because it's the biggest and the most known. And if you're not on there, then you're even if you don't want to be, if you're not on there, then you're missing out. I mean, if I had my druthers, I wouldn't sell my books on Amazon at all. But realistically, I can't afford to turn away from the beast that is Amazon. Although that has that has really changed over the last few years.
And there's the link for Vinted, and I just dropped the link for Flip. If you'd like to give it a try, you do have a free trial period, and it's only $9 a month thereafter. Ready for Taco Tuesday. I like eBay the best because it is items. Yes, that's true. I do sell on multiple platforms. eBay works best for me. And again, it's whatever works best for you. I prefer to use other platforms when it cross posting because now I'm getting more eyes on other items where it may sell on eBay, but it doesn't sell anywhere else, or vice versa. It may sell on Poshmark, but yeah. So,
But
it's
that's
just
but
a chance you
but
take.
that right there is a good reason why you should cross post because again, it's about finding your audience where they are, and it could be that buyer that you have for that thing is just simply not on the eBay platform, but it may be appealing to somebody who is on Vinted that if you hadn't taken the time to cross post, you would never have reached them and they would never have found your item.
Or like for example, I know Jennifer is only on Etsy. Some people prefer only to shop on a particular platform. However, there are always somebody who's Googling something that they're looking for, and nine
Yep.
times out of 10, if you have it on different platforms, it'll show up on all those platforms you have in a Google search. So just think about that as well. I cross-post listed on Macquarie Poshmark, and it makes it so easy. It is. Cha-cha, hello, good morning, and welcome, and how are you doing? Good to see you, and welcome,
Good
and
morning.
Steph. Hello, good morning, and welcome, and how are you doing? Good to see you. And Amy says, yes, absolutely, you want to import from eBay. Agreed, Johnny. Yeah, and that's what I've learned. I've learned that the hard way. And there's the cross-post Flip Pro platform I use. It's only $9 a month. You do get a free trial, and that is my
Oh,
referral
you're
code.
you're missing some URL stuff there, Johnny, in
Oh,
that
yeah,
flip
I see
one.
that. I did that on Flip too, didn't I?
Yeah, I think Jennifer pointed out that your link wasn't clickable.
All right, thank you. I know what I got to do. I got to open it in a new tab first.
Because Jennifer's awesome and catches everything.
All right, so this will be for, here it is. Thank you for catching that. All right, here's the actual link for Flip. I forgot. It's in my channel links and Vinted. I didn't click the link to open it for URL.
It's funny, Jennifer. I remember years ago, and we're talking mid 90s maybe, there used to be places around the Bay Area where you could drive up with all of the stuff you wanted to list on eBay and you dropped it off with them. And for a small fee, they used to do all your listings for you. And I remember there were several of those throughout the Bay Area. That was back in the early days of eBay. I miss those days where you could just hand off your work to somebody else and be like, "Here, go list all this stuff for me."
I got to get the link. That's separate. Oh, home tab right there.
Cha Cha, be sure to check out Johnny's calendar in the community section of the channel. The calendar definitely lists all of the well, I mean, people who have regular shows. There'll be a list there with the calendar. They'll show you who's coming up when and on what days and times.
All right, let me know if those links work. This is for Vinted. I had to go directly into my channel to get it. All right, let me know if those links work, please. My sales are all over the platforms and have tripled since I started with Flip. I have too, I know.
Wow.
That is correct. So how are you doing today, Steph? What time is your show today? I think you have a show again today, don't you? Agree about eBay, Jay? Worry about changes. And again, once you get used to how they charge and what they do and things like, then it's not okay if you choose to do another platform. There's nothing wrong with it. It's never too late to start. Thank you,
But
Jennifer.
I mean, Casey, I mean, Casey, I'm sure you'll agree. It's like it's that frustration of the bigger they get, the more they change, and then they start losing control. Like one hand stops knowing what the other hand is doing, and before you know it, everything just becomes this big pit of confusion. And you're like, all I want to do is just go list my stuff and sell it. And that's when these other folks will pop up, these Vinted or whomever. And it's like, okay, here, let's start over with we're easier than eBay. And then eventually, like 5-10 years down the road, it's like they reach that exact same breaking point, and you're like, okay,
Good
time to move
morning,
on more stuff.
Robin, and hello. Good morning and welcome. And Leslie, if
Good
you don't
morning,
mind,
Miss Robin.
I want to point out something about Leslie. I need to learn how to list on eBay. And eBay is easy to do, and there's more choices you can do when it comes to descriptions. So they give you choices and things about your item. You can check them off or not, or you can even enter your own. You got a description board, all that stuff. It's very easy. All right, there's the actual link, the URL for the flip referral. Is anyone? Yeah, I do have the community tab, which is now called the post with the community calendar. If you haven't downloaded it, download it on a computer or a tablet first, and then add it to your list of calendars that you have, and then you can use and open it. It's only for reading only. I remember those, Jay. Looking for something to listen to when I work. There's a lot going on today as well, different channels. And there's the Vinted one, the correct link. Thank you for the. Yeah, it's in the community calendar. Leslie, please join me. Would you be okay if I talk about you and your newest adventure on your newest platform?
Good morning, Miss Leslie.
Hello, good morning, and welcome, by the way. If you're okay with it, just say yes, please. I want to promote your new platform you've been on. Leslie, and I want to mention this to anybody, especially if you are a member of this channel. This is just an extra little thing I do for you if you're a member. I'm not an expert, but I can definitely help you when it comes to any platform that I've been on that I can help you with. If you're new to it and you are a member, I have no problem, because Leslie started and she asked me for her help. She sent me her link to her eBay store. She's now selling on eBay. So Leslie, if you could
Yay!
give that link, if you would drop that link on your eBay store in the chat. She sent me an email with her list. I asked her to send me the link, and I had no problem with it, because she was doing some things that she wanted to know if I can help her change my opinion. And I had no problem with it. And so her and I got after this, one of the morning shows, and it was just minor things that she needed to do that she didn't realize. And she's doing pretty good. So yeah, if you can put that link in the chat. Leslie just started selling on eBay.
Good job, Leslie. I know you've been
I
I
don't
know
mind
you've been
helping anybody.
kind of easing back into everything, and
All right,
you've been a
so
joy to watch on the different shows that you've been on. So I'm really glad to hear you're branching out even more.
I'll tell you what, though, if she can't, I can get it. I'll have her saved in my. If you're in the community, and I know you have one, you got a violation already. What girl? What you got violated on?
Good for you. You're a bad girl already on eBay. Heck yeah. You keep up that bad stuff, and Chrissy and Stacy are gonna invite you over in the corner to hang out with them and Scarlett.
Oh, by the way, I want to mention that too. I'm glad you said that, Leslie. I already sold, delivered, and the person's already got it, of an item that I got a notification on this morning that it was pulled for it being a recall item. Well, how are you going to recall an item, but you're going to take it off my platform and tell me you took it off, but it's already sold, delivered, and the person's already got it? So yeah, don't worry about something like that, because it does happen. It's called Vero, whatever. They do have those problems. All right, here is first show. All right, here we go.
Good morning, Heather.
Copy. Here is, sent you an important email. Please check after the show. I will do, Amy. Here is Leslie's eBay link. Y'all go check it out. There it is. Anytime I know you have a store and I go to your store, I always put it as saved, so that way I have it under my saved stores for those who have an eBay on eBay. A lot of software out there, engineering changing something to say, and that's always changes. You're right about that. And a lot of times it is for the better. We just got to learn it sometimes. Yeah, sometimes it's not too easy. If I missed anyone, good morning. Well, thank you for putting that in the chat. Yes, thank you. All right, let's see. It starts at 6:30, 8:30, 9:30, Johnny. I'll be in bed by then. I'm sorry. John is having a clearance sale, y'all. I will be in bed by that time. I know that for a fact. Yep, there's the link. You can go check it out. Save it. I do save it. I like to know what they violated you on. So they pulled the coach purse slapped by my hand. Now, do you know if the coach purse was fake?
And are they sure it's fake?
We'll have to get with Glam on, girl. Send me the picture. I need to learn size boxes. And if you have a lot of times, if it's one item and you use the same thing over and over, I'll use it for all my jewelry because I basically use the same size for everything.
Jennifer, I've got a really good recommendation for you if you're trying to learn about boxes and packing and all that. Lonnie and Candace from Shed Flips have a spin-off channel now called I'm Gonna Pack It. And it's Lonnie packing up everything that they've sold on their main channel, and he goes through everything with you to show you how to pick the right size boxes, how to wrap things. Really, really informative and really approachable stuff. I'm Gonna Pack It is what it's called.
I also have several videos on how I pack certain things as well. So check that out as well on this channel. And one of the things, once you get the hang of, for example, a one piece of jewelry, whether it's a necklace, a bracelet, if you're using a box or a ring box or whatever kind of box you're using to ship that to, 9 times out of 10, it's always going to be the same. The only thing that's going to change is the weight. So I would estimate about the same for everything when I do it. One of the things I noticed with Etsy, even though they may charge a certain price on shipping, when you go to get your label through Etsy, if it's more than what the label costs, Etsy keeps the difference. I noticed that. But I try to get it as close as I can, and usually it's always the same for depending on, because I have the same set boxes for either a necklace or a ring, a pendant, a brooch, or whatever. And I use the same thing. So I kind of use the same measurements. All right, Amy, I will check that after the show. Leslie to the corner. There's Leslie's eBay store. So they pulled the coach purse and slapped my hand. Usually if it's the first time they do that. I saved your eBay. Awesome. Yeah, let's support her too. Oh, that's you right about that, TZ, because I'm up early in the morning. I can't be staying up every night that late. And he said, but not, I don't know. Yeah, if you're not sure, I would definitely see by getting somebody to check it out. Depending on if there's a creed, what kind of purse it was, if it's a wallet, if it has a creed inside, the logo, all that matters. There is a lot of fakes out there that the C's do not connect each other like they're supposed to on a coach. Go check out definitely Rachel Stickler and Glamour's Closet has several videos on how to tell if it's real or not. Helped me with a lot of packing. Yes.
I remember when Lonnie shipped a typewriter. I think it was sometime last year. I remember thinking to myself, God, how is he going to send that thing out?
I always thought I got extra money on Etsy. If it's shipping that you accidentally or it did not match, and it was less than what you actually put as your description for measurements, if it happens to go and you pack it and you ship it and you put the dimensions in and it's not the same as what Etsy charged them, you don't keep the difference anymore. They keep it. I noticed that. And I may be wrong. That's what I've noticed with Etsy. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start dropping links. If you don't mind keeping over with the chat.
Yup.
Well, I have to cheat. I have to copy and paste. And again, remember, whatever platform you choose, and if you decide to go with another platform, you must make sure to keep yourself in control of those platforms. Learn it before you go to a new one, because if not, you're gonna drive yourself crazy.
It's funny. I didn't really see anybody mention Mercari. Is Mercari? Are any of you folks out there on Mercari? I have a little bit of experience of it.
I know Cheryl Stevens is on Mercari. Cheryl Bajan Jim is on Mercari. There's several that's on Mercari that had sales that they've sent in for the show. I know Angie's Oddities is also on there as well. All right. The first one was Jennifer's YouTube channel. Her second one is the Etsy store for her. And the third one is her buy her milkshake. And then the last one is for y'all to come on up if you choose to come on up. You said it's not, don't know. Keep that in mind. Yeah, they have videos out there that you can check on. Like I know Rachel does it, and so does Grandma's. There's a couple of others out there too, but those are the main two I watch. A pre-packed item. You can do that too. Yeah, you can do that if you choose to. I know Mark does that. When he packs an item that he's listed, he's actually got it in the package that he's going to ship it in. If you have the room for that, because remember, you have to have the room to pack all that. But you can keep it. You should always start. You do the jewelry. Yeah. You have to kind of know what box you're going to put it in. And once you get hang of it and you keep doing the same style or type of things, the size, because for me, I already know all hats. Yes, I can put it in a bubble mailer, but I choose not to. I put them in an 8x6x4 box.
Yeah, so do I.
If
For
it's a
those
comic book, I have a certain envelope that I get from eBay that's free with my coupon that I get for shipping supplies that I use for that. So yeah, there's certain things you can use. Plush always goes in a poly mailer. Copy and paste. Yep, copy and paste can be your best friend when it comes to that. Let's see. I got a World War II era locket with picture. I hate to list it. I want it to find the owner. Well, you know, sometimes that cannot happen because a lot of times it can be that it was an estate sale. It could have been from a garage sale. It even could have been from somebody who bought out a storage unit. Sometimes people do buy the ephemera in lockets just to have it as ephemera. Just remember that. But Jay, on the other hand, does ephemera with postcards to track the family information on postcards and their stories.
That is true.
Not a fan of Macari as I'm known. And you know, I have not had any sales on there since I started back on Macari, but that's okay because it's there. And it's on other platforms anyway because I cross-post to them. So I'm not losing no sleep over it. Let's see. Please get, plus I get free boxes. $100. There you go. Ain't nothing wrong with that. My channel link, there's Heather's link. Yes, that's why I haven't started on eBay. For 100 subscribers. Awesome, Heather. So true, Johnny, but sometimes when platform or site changes, it's like a little hard to get back in the group. Well, no, but because a lot of times it's just minor changes. But it's okay because everything changes everywhere we look at. No matter where you at, there's always changes. We just have to learn to a little bit of adapt and have that don't go off the road kind of thing when you're driving. You got to kind of veer to the curves as you're driving. Same thing with platforms. You got to kind of drive yourself to learn any type of changes, you know, and learn what they are and adapt. A lot of times you have to adapt. Are you going to make a video, Heather? Yeah, make sure you get some content. Johnny, I do appreciate you. And you're welcome. And look, I do that for anybody who's a member. If you need help with a platform and you need to even get started, I'll be glad to help you. That's what I do with a lot of members as far as extra things that I do for y'all. I don't mind. And I was glad that Leslie reached out to me and we had a little meetup and I kind of told her of a few things that she might want to change and she did and it was good. It went really well because I'm looking at her eBay store now and yeah, she's really doing well with her pictures. One of the things I do have to remind everybody, I don't know if you noticed on Poshmark, Etsy, eBay, be careful on zooming in too close to your product that you're trying to sell because they're cropping it even closer in your picture. So make sure you have it out a little bit more than usual. That because I've learned that the hard way myself. Even with Vinted, even with Etsy, I noticed that my pictures, even Poshmark, you don't see the whole thing anymore. So I got to be careful when I'm doing my uploads that I don't zoom in too much when I'm cropping a picture to keep it to where you can see the full product. Be careful with that because I'm learning that the hard way. But it happens. But again, that's what changes has become on these platforms. And we got to get adapted to it. So that's what my adaptation is going to be, adoption for that. I got to learn that new date. All right, the link is posted. If you would like to come on up and promote your channel, you have any questions or you want anything, share your channel or events coming up, you're more than welcome to. Go ahead, Jay.
I was gonna say, one of the things that I'm always reevaluating the platforms I'm on. So I'm always looking at the performance of not just the performance of what's selling or isn't selling, but also, has it gotten more complicated? Have the fees increased whatsoever? And I may reorder priority for me. So, if it doesn't make sense for me to constantly be posting to a site that never really gets, sales, okay, maybe later on I'll do a batch upload for that, but it's no longer a priority. I focus on the ones where I know there's performance and do them in that order, um, and then revisit as needed.
Good morning, Josie.
Good
Hello,
morning,
good
Josie.
morning. Welcome. And again, for me with Macari, I don't give it a lot of attention because I'm not getting a lot of sales there. But I still, when I'm listing, depending on what the item is, I will also cross post to Macari. That's all I can do is put it in the flip, download it, and export it into there, import it, and I'm done. And I do what I got to do, and I'm done. I don't have to worry about going in there and doing anything manually. So that's what I like about it. And again, I'm getting more eyes on different platforms on my product that I'm trying to get rid of. There's the links that Jennifer's dropping. Yes, Jennifer, she is up early, Leslie. Finally got my sponsorship money in from my member.
Oh, fantastic, Matt.
Awesome.
Get that money, honey.
That's right. Earn it, you got to get it. And if you have any special events going on, let us know. Let's see here. Got all those links. I am up. I am up. Yeah, that's okay. We like that. Yeah. I was on Josie's show last night. I had fun. We're going to do it again. Do it again. To be announced.
Josie, a friend of mine said to me that she was looking for statement pieces, and I said, "Oh, I've got just the reseller you need to follow on YouTube." And I gave her your link, and she's already watched a couple of your videos, and she's like, "Okay, that's it. I got to find out when her next show is. I'm tuning in." So, hopefully they'll get a little business your way.
Leslie says, I got to stop being so anxious about just list it and forget it. Keep changing prices. No, don't keep doing that. Now, one of the things you can do is always send offers. That's one of the things you may want to do is don't always change your price. You can always send out offers. What you want to do is if that's price you have it set at as what you want for it, you can always go in and set your lowest price like we discussed. You can set your lowest price of what you would take as an offer. That way you don't get all the low balls. You don't have to worry about and that way once you get it listed, you set that up, you're good and go. I'm going to show you about that.
Leslie, I'll give you a very valuable lesson that they teach you at Apple when you work in Apple retail. One of the first things they teach you when you're going through customer service training is never sell with your wallet. You're selling with your customer's wallet. So you may think that you wouldn't pay that much for that item, but it doesn't mean that somebody else wouldn't. You can always go lower if you start higher, but you can't go higher if you started too low. Because
Exactly.
especially if anybody's been watching that item and you started low and then you raise the price, you're definitely not going to be able to move it out. So don't be afraid to start it at a higher price. And as Johnny said, you can send an offer to somebody who's been watching it or what have you, but don't sell yourself short.
Just remember that when you send an offer to potential buyers on eBay, you cannot edit most. Yes, that's what I was going to say. There is a time limit, but always remember, you can always end the listing and relist it, but you're going to lose all the attractions you had on that listing when you do that. Whether it's views, offers, whatever the case may be, you will lose all of it. That's on any platform. But yes, that is true. It does. You got to, I want to say it's 3 days, 48 or 72 hours, something like that. It could be even longer.
Isn't there flexibility on eBay for how long that you can choose how long?
I believe it's automatically what they say.
Oh, I thought there were different. I thought eBay
Now,
allows you
I
to
want to
choose
mention
how long.
something too. Even though you may have offers on someone, even if, for example, they send you an offer and you accept it, that item can still be sold to someone else for full asking price if they don't pay immediately. If you don't have pay immediately when sold. Because I have had in the past items that I've sent somebody an offer, and as I sent an offer, it does send others who are watching a message telling them that you had sent an offer and it's still available, but it hasn't until the time it's sold and somebody pays for it, that it still can be sold by somebody else to somebody else for full asking price. That's happened many a times with me. Don't be afraid. Do it. Jake says, I have said the same, Johnny.
Like
Otherwise, buyers will.
you're absolutely right, and that's called customer conditioning, and that happens a lot in the book world too, where especially with self-published authors who think that they've got to give their book away for free or give their book away for 99 cents, and those aren't people that are really interested in you or their product. They're just interested in a good deal, and you've sold yourself short. So yeah, if you're constantly lowering prices, all you're doing is conditioning your customer to wait, because eventually it'll be down to a price that they want to pay, and they won't ever pay the higher one.
It could be even sometimes and don't get me wrong, I've done this many a times where I've listed something and within less than like last week, it could be for me listing it and then me taking it to go put it where I want to put it for inventory purposes, and I come back and it's sold. I do guess myself, did I list it too low? If you're looking at what sold before you put a price on it, this is what I always do. I look at how many were sold, what was the pricing, and how many are listed. 9 times out of 10, if it's none listed and all of the items you're looking at is just like yours are sold, 9 times out of 10, like the last thing I sold last week, I did go a little bit above the ones that sold. And a minute I listed, it took less than 5 hours to sell, but it sold that same day before I can even pick it up because I was still listing other things. So don't second guess yourself if you did not set a right price. As long as you're looking at what's sold compared to how many are listed, I never look at what people have it listed for, because remember, my rule of thumb is no matter what they're asking for it, remember, that doesn't mean what they're going to get for it. That means that's what they're asking for. Whereas on the other hand, I want to see true what it's sold for in the last 90 days and how much are they selling for. However, if there's more listed than sold, then of course I don't mind listing it a little bit higher, because now you just have to wait for the rest of it to go. But again, that's when you set your lowest you would take on that item as your offers, which you have to do yourself. Where was I? Way up there. Yes.
The other thing too about that, TZ, is that you got to remember it's also the psychology of selling. So sometimes people just want to get a deal, and they don't even care how much they're saving off of it. They just want to save something so that they can have that dopamine hit of I won. I went into it. It was a game, and I played the game, and I won. And it doesn't even have to be that much that you're reducing the price by. It's just that psychological thing of, hey, I saved something on it, so I didn't pay the full price, and it was
Now,
enough.
Leslie, it doesn't necessarily mean that the payment didn't go through. It might be that they didn't pay because you may not have pay immediately set on those items. That's why I have as my business policies, that's one of my policies I have, that I want to be paid immediately. Now, you have to have it set up that way for them to do that. But however, remember, don't be disappointed when you accept an offer from someone and they don't pay, and you don't have that immediate payment on. That's okay, because your items are still live and someone else can come back and snipe it and they lost. Where you might even get it for more money. You might get it for what you've asking for it. So don't be disappointed. It does happen.
I see that happen on a lot of auctions.
Yeah.
A lot of like the regular YouTubers. That happens quite often, that somebody comes in and snipes on an offer.
Good morning, Mia. How are you and your hubby doing?
Hey, Mia.
Getting better. But the offer will still show in pending, and I believe they have, I think it's 7 days. Because after 7 days, that pending goes away. That means they no longer can get it for that price unless you send them another offer. Depending on how many offers you have on both sides, because you do get so many each per item. It is the responsibility range of offer is set enough to accept. Exactly. Pricing are so different, two different things. Yeah, you're right about that. Make sure you have the thumbs up right. Yes, please. A lot of estate sales go to, you can tell they have checked eBay. Yes, they have. But one of the things I catch a lot is that they'll have a thing, well, this is going on eBay for. But when I look it up, because when they print it out in black and white or in color, you will see that it's either in green, means that's what it's sold for. If it's in black, that's what they're asking for. There are a formula of which is called a sell-through rate. Yes, you want to make sure you check that, but don't go by what people are listing it for.
By the way, folks, if you didn't hear the breaking news from this past weekend, for those of you that are QVC fans, there is a very real possibility that QVC will be filing for bankruptcy.
I heard that on the news this week.
Yep.
It might have been this weekend. All right, I'm going to open my, what it says right there, starting May 13th, buyers who win auctions on eBay will no longer see the option to cancel. Yes, I saw that too. Yes, that is correct. I did get a notification in my email.
Good.
All right, I'm going to use this one as an example because I do have to delete this draft. Because I do have most of the jewelry that I bring on online auctions are usually typically already in a draft. If it sells, I just delete it. But if not, I list it. And this is one of those. I'm going to show you an example. Let me make this big here. Whatnot is the new QVC.
You know what, Matt? You know what, Matt? I would rather have QVC than the obnoxiousness that is Whatnot. Oh God, I can't stand it.
Okay, for example, when you get new listings, they got so many things you can fill in or leave blank. That's fine. But right here at the bottom, buy it now. I set my price, but I always turn on allow offers. But what I do here is, for example, I'm going to ask on this one, and never, please, never go. Let me make my screen a little bit bigger for you. Every time you list something, they're going to say listed in the last 90 days, recommended price. Don't look at that. Don't base that, please. Do your own looks for this. For example, I have it listed for, I'm going to list this one for $59.26. So what I'm going to do is I am going to base this on my offer that I would take the lowest amount for, which is usually 15 to 20% is the lowest I would take on this. This is how I set my price. I would say 59.26 times 20% minus. So I would list it for no less than, I would take an offer for no less than $47, and I always use 76 cents. When I use 26 cents, that's the year I'm listing it in. Now, right here, policies, you want to put in here payment immediately. You have to have that set up as a policy, because if not, it won't go through. So what I would do is I would list this. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this when I'm going to list an item. I'm going to take the title I'm using, and I'm not going to list this one because it sold last night on an auction. But I always have two tabs open. I will put that list here of what that item is. I want to see if any sold. I'm going to tell you right now, there's none that sold. You want to look for that. Even though it may say 0 results, I want to see if anything looks like what I have. I will scroll down until I find one that's like mine or close to it. However, these are pretty good prices, but that's not what I have. This one is close to it, but the framing is different. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to go to what's listed. I'm going to do the same thing here, put the same title that I'm going to use here, and there is none. So you can use your own judgment. There's only 3 things that show up, and neither one of them is like mine. So at that point, there is none you can go by. That's okay. But here it says 3, but none of these 3 are what I have. So then you use your own judgment. But what I do is typically the price here is anywhere from 15 to 20% off the actual price I'm asking for. Now, in this case, I got to delete it because I sold it last night. So that's what I do, and that's just a way of sharing with you how I do it. But I'm always looking at what's sold and how many are listed. What is the sold comps? What have they actually sold for in the last 90 days? So I hope that helps. Don't be afraid. You can set your own price. Do not go by what that estimated price is. And don't go by what they listed it for, because remember, we can always ask what we want for it. Don't mean we're going to get it. My meal would be very sad. It would be still alive. She was QVC addicted. Yeah, I'd never. Awesome to know, Johnny. I do sell on eBay. Well, awesome, TZ. And I don't mind sharing things like that. If you have questions, let me know. Do you do auto accept? No, I do. Nope, nope. I do
Well,
the
because what
minimum
if you want
offer.
to counter? I mean,
Always want to counter. Yeah, I always counter offer. And one of the things I like about it, if you set your minimum offer of what you're going to take, anything that comes below that will be denied. You won't even see it.
right.
But however, you may get a comment or a message from that a particular buyer or potential buyer that says, "What would be the lowest you would take for it?" 9 times out of 10, that turns into a sale because they said, "I've been trying, it keeps denying. I won't decline it. What is the lowest you would take?" I even had somebody thought it was their credit card that was declining it. No, it's because I had it set on the lowest offer. I don't have time to answer every offer that comes in lower than what I'm taking, so it doesn't reply automatically. But no, I do not accept automatically. I do it all manually. I do everything by each message I get. I thought you let them have. I do, but I do have it set for the lowest I would take. That way I ain't got to deal with it. And it also depends on how long it's been listed. But yes, I do let them have it with no problem. But I still want to make sure I get my profit. Again, I have no problem letting it go, but it depends on for how much. Because if I see they're selling for way more and I still make a profit, I am fine with that as long as it's over the max minimum I would take as an offer. I do that on all of my listings. Sometimes they do not because they are interested in the item, and a lot of times people, even though they have been trying, they still turn around and buy it. I do that too. You see, that's how I've always done it. Now, does that work for everyone? Probably not. And I don't mind people asking me because I even had the other day a lady sent me a message, and that was from last Friday when I sold the mother of pearl rosary. I had it listed for like 80 something dollars, and she sent me a message saying it was like $88. She said, "Would you accept $72?" She said, "That's the lowest, the most I can afford at this time. I had bought one back in from one of my children, and I want this one for my other child. Would you accept?" Accept. Send me that offer, and I'll accept it. Because I couldn't send her an offer because I already sent her an offer, and I told her just decline it, and then you send me an offer for 72, and I will accept it, and she did. Because that's what she can afford. So, yeah, I have no problem with that. I tell you one thing, do not ignore messages you get on eBay from anybody requesting something for a lower price. That alone can get you to where you're not going to get activity on your eBay store. On any platform, actually. I reply to every message I get. Every. Now, for example, on the weekends, I've had somebody send me a message about a plush I have that's almost 20 inches tall. And it's about 18 inches wide. They asked if I can shrink it into a bag, would I be able to do that? So I said, well, let me go to my office and I'll check and I'll let you know. Sure enough, I was able to shrink it enough to bring it down to measurements because she was right there in Maine. And I was able to shrink it enough to where I even saved her on shipping. I'll do anything to help somebody get a sale. But again, did she buy it? No. But that's okay because I was able to lower and shrink it the way I need to. Question, Johnny, how do you clear out cigarette smell on jewelry? Two ways. Two things that I do. If I purchase something and I know that person's a smoker, which I have nothing against, I used to smoke. I haven't smoked cigarettes since 2017. But however, if I break that seal on a box and I smell the cigarette smoke, I start to where I can't breathe. I take a whole box and I would call it quarantine in the garage. But if it's jewelry, I have a sonic cleaner that I put all jewelry in on a low speed just to get it out of there, or I'll soak it in jewelry cleaner. That's what I do.
Also, Matt, sunlight cures a lot of ills. As long as don't have to worry about it fading out or something like that. Especially if things like leather. It's amazing how fast smells will come out of leather once they've been in the sun for a little bit. You just have to make sure it's not like so potent that it's gonna bleach anything out. But I've received some items and going ahead and putting them out in the sun, real fast, cleans up. I have a leather messenger bag that I adore, and I do that every once in a while. Leave it out in the sun, and perfect. Every odor gone. Unfortunately, that doesn't work for people, by the way. So stinky people, you can try leaving them out in the sun, but it actually gets worse.
I was trying to find out. It must be out in the garage still. You can go to any fish aquarium that sells fish aquarium. You know the little filters for the fish tanks that's got the charcoal blackout type filters. You can put those, and you get them in a pack of 10, and you can use them several times, and it absorbs. If you put it in a bag and seal it with it in there, it does absorb the smell. Now it does take a little while, but it works. That's what I use, the charcoal filters from a fish tank.
Matt, you aren't kidding. It also makes for the Vegas sun also really makes for a great solar cooker. So if you ever want to be able to cook outside and you line a box with tinfoil in the sun, you can cook anything under the sun in Vegas.
Now remember, be careful with using anything that is scented to pull the smell of smoke out of those products,
Yeah.
because even though you may not smell the smoke anymore, somebody may be allergic to a scent of certain things. Like for me, if I'm in public and I'm near somebody that has too much cologne and it smells like they took a bath in it, I can't breathe. I start choking. So for me, I don't use anything that is scented, including if you're washing clothes from things that you purchase at a thrifting, and you turn around and you purchase clothing. When you bring it home, you should wash it. But remember, I use anything that is non-scented when it comes to clothing or anything I'm trying to take smoke smell out of. Or you can even put it in your freezer, believe it or not, in a Ziploc bag.
Yeah. Yep. Freezer works too.
Yeah, be careful with that. Laying outside. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, you can even I leave it in my garage for a couple of days. Now, I have to tell you, when it comes to plush, I had an order with somebody I did not even have the knowledge that they were smokers. I get it. It was several plush. The worst thing that I was able to do is when I went to bust the seal on that box, I immediately hurried and closed it and brought it to my garage because it was so strong. They even took each plush and sealed it inside of a suffocation bag, which made it even worse when I opened it in the garage. Definitely be careful with plush. I have nothing against anybody that smokes. I do buy from people who are smokers who I don't have that problem, but be careful. Don't
Johnny,
use
I,
anything.
I apologize, but I do need to leave to go to work.
Yes, I understand that.
So, folks, I am live this evening on my channel, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, doing a whole recap of the LA Times Festival of Books. There's some books I'll be recommending from folks that I talked to, including some folks that won awards at the show. I'll be talking about all the nitty, the gritty, the dirty, the clean that I went through this past weekend. It was really an experience. So sorry, gotta go to the day job, but
right. Thank you, Jay.
You folks have a good one, and if you can stop by tonight, we'll see you then.
That's right. All right, see you tomorrow.
Bye.
And that's true. There's nothing wrong with being a smoker as long as you don't have your product where you're smoking. And just be mindful, especially if you're on a platform, you may want to include that in your description because some people don't have a problem with it, but just in case. Same with me, Johnny. My people wear so much. Yeah, I just can't handle it. It's just too much. So be careful when it comes to scenting something to take the smell out, because again, it may have that overwhelming smell that somebody that you're sending it to may not be able to use it. I do too. I'm the same way. Terry Bear, hello, good morning and welcome. And how are you doing? Good to see you. Welcome. So again, use discretion. And I know a lot of times, even when I was a smoker, smoking those cigarettes, I did not know that I had that scent. But like when I waited tables, I constantly wore something to cover the smell when I would go out and wash my hands real well, that kind of thing. But again, sometimes when it gets into products, it's not easy to get out unless you take the extra steps to get it out. So that way you can list it and also make sure you have no problem. That's why a lot of times if it has that problem, I'll quarantine it in my garage, or I'll put it in an area where I know I can get it to with a charcoal filter, and it works. Or I stick it in the freezer. So you can try whatever you want, but please do not try using any of those lint, bounce lint sheets that have scents to it. Because some people may not be able to handle that when you send it to them. So be mindful of that as well. So again, thank each and every one of y'all for always coming out and showing your love and support to the channel. And thank y'all for being active in the chat on the topic of the day. Remember, if you have a topic you would love for us to promote on the show, let me know. Send me an email. Shoot me a message on Facebook, Instagram. I will add it to our list and turn it into a topic for the morning show. If you would like to come on and you have any questions or concerns, or you have anything you need some help with, after the show is over, you're more than welcome to join me with the link that's posted at the top of the chat. Just make sure you come on in after the show is over, and I'll be glad to help you. As I say before I end each and every show, love always. Love is always free. Please be kind to one another till we meet into another chat. Have a blessed and fabulous day. Until we meet again, later. Peace out, and y'all come back now. You hear?
First in the mornings, originally from the Bayou State of Louisiana. Here at Cajun Roots Reselling, you make me an offer and I'll take it. You got the dollars, go see Johnny, he's got it all.